Hello and welcome to Witness on the BBC World Service. Today we're going back 20 years to the start of one of the biggest children's TV programmes ever. My mummy, Claire Bowes, has been speaking to a Teletubby.
Teletubbies, time for Teletubbies.
What are their names?
Tinky-Winky, Dipsy, Laa-Laa Po.
Teletubbies. Teletubbies. Say hello.
Tinky-Winky is the big purple one, and he often hung out with Po, my character, and they were the best friends because he was the biggest and I was the smallest. And Laa-Laa had a little tutu. Dipsy was more cool. He had a hat made out of pony-type fabric, and the four of us lived over the hills and far away.
This is Po, or more accurately, Pui Fan Lee, the actor who played Po. Her life changed 20 years ago when she and the other Teletubbies were launched onto British TV as the first programme aimed specifically at 1- and 2-year-olds.
Where did Tinky-Winky and Po gone?
I think the idea was just to be free, and to be free with the language. And you look at a script and it looks very thin, but actually, even though everyone thinks it's just a load of gibberish, it's all very precise.
But there was method in the gibberish. One of the programme's developers, Andy Davenport, had a background in speech therapy and said playing with language helped youngsters learn. Toddlers were enthralled from the start by a smiling, baby-faced sun which shone down on Teletubbyland. The BBC had high hopes for this ambitious project and had allowed the producers to build a set in a crater in the rolling green hills of the English countryside.
It was a real ginormous dome on a farm with real doors that opened and closed when we walked in and out. And the rabbits were real. Everything was real in those days. And I think that's what made it so mind-blowing.
And into that landscape bounced the Teletubbies, huge puppet-like figures, the actors completely encased in their costumes.
I'm only 4'10", and in the costume, I think I was over 6 foot tall, including the antenna. So I used to look out of what would be the mouthpiece. So you imagine the rest of the head would just go above me. But we had to learn to wear these costumes. That was a real challenge. On the first day, I literally couldn't believe I was in this thing and that I had to work in it, and I'd just signed a contract to do this for quite a long time. It was a bit like being put into a coffin with a hole to look out of. Honestly, I was so claustrophobic, and I was freaking out.
Completely overwhelming.
Really, yeah. And then I had to learn to use this. I had to learn to use the mechanics of it because we operated the eyes and the mouth and stuff, and then it was very, very heavy. And we had physiotherapy because it really was hard. I can laugh now 20 years later, but there were times where I would be sitting there thinking, oh my goodness.
Having just graduated from drama school, Pui Fan Lee had expected she might be auditioning for classical theatre, but instead she found herself inside a hot red suit in a programme aimed at toddlers.
I remember a good friend of mine just said, "Boy, just do the job. No one will remember it. And, you don't even have to put it on your CV. It's fine, as you do in your 20s. It'll just be like waitressing. No one will care that you did it. You just took the money and ran, But actually, no. Nobody. I don't think anybody realised what was going to happen.
So how did you go about deciding on Po? What you knew about her is she was red. She looked a bit like a huge toddler, big head, short limbs. How do you describe her?
We had a wonderful voice coach, and I struggled a bit, actually, I must say, because I wasn't sure. And then I started speaking a bit of Cantonese because I'm Chinese and my family speak. That's one of the dialects they speak. And she said, "Do that again." And I just sort of said, "Fight it, mama man," that sort of thing. And then she said, "Oh my goodness, you sound completely different when not that I speak just like that, but I think sometimes when people speak a different language, they have a different tone." So my Po had little Chinese phrases. Fight it was faster, faster on her scooter. And then sometimes she'd count, yeah, Isa. And then I put in this little funny laugh, and they quite like that.
The programme launched on the BBC in March 1997. But some of the parents watching weren't impressed.
Teletubbies, the BBC's latest programme for very young children, is provoking a storm of criticism. While children seem to be entranced by the 4 colourful tubby characters, many parents and teachers are worried about its lack of speech and question its educational value.
I found it quite patronising in its attitude to the children. And even my 2.5-year-old wanders off and is bored to tears by it.
Why do they have to watch television at 18 months? I ask myself. You're shaking your head, Alex.
Ban them all. Ban it all.
You had spent months filming in this beautiful countryside in a kind of bubble, I imagine, where everyone was very positive about what you were trying to achieve. What was it like when the first few episodes went out?
There were lots of complaints, I hear, when the first few episodes of Teletubbies came out. I don't know how many. I think people felt like they were dumbing down, seriously dumbing down. And then the tabloids got involved. You know, one of the worst newspapers at the time said, do you know these people? You know, and you think, oh my God, ring this number now, ring this, like we're, I don't know, villains or something. I don't think at the time I was worried, because I remember seeing it on the big screen for the first time, thinking, wow, they've made something amazing here. This is brilliant. Because of Andy's conviction and Anne's conviction, because in the end, I didn't understand them at the beginning. I thought they were a bit bonkers, you know. But the great thing is they stuck to their guns, and I think I really admire that.
And I mean, there was also the other, I guess, angle on the criticism was, you know, should 2-year-olds be watching TV? Do you remember watching it with children ever, the first time you watched it with children to see their reactions?
Yeah, they literally ran to the telly, and I think people that could, because that was the other thing. There were all these conspiracy theories. Oh my God, they're brainwashing the children and everything. But I think they literally loved it.
And soon kids were loving it around the world. Teletubbies has been translated into 40 languages and is broadcast in 120 countries.
Bonjour.
In 2015, the show was rebooted in high definition for a new generation of children. Which one's your favourite?
Po.
Well, my 2-year-old, it's the only programme that she engages with.
Oh, good.
It really is. She will say Teletubbies and she'll ask for Teletubbies.
Oh, brilliant.
And Po is her favourite.
Hooray! The creators were very clever. They understood what it's like to be a 2-year-old. They understand that idea of rolling around, being silly, exploring things. And I think children really still do relate to the Teletubbies. Even though they don't look like them, they behave like the children watching, and they have a sort of connection with the children at home.
Time for Tubby Bye-Bye. Time for Tubby Bye-Bye.
Pui Fan Lee is still a children's presenter, but she no longer has to wear a big red costume. She was speaking to me, Claire Bowes, for Witness. The programme was produced
by me, Lucy Burns,
with help from
Me and me.
And if you enjoyed that programme, why not check out our Witness about Kermit the Frog? Just search BBC Witness and Kermit the Frog.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
No, you've got to sit up though, baby.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.